Oh, I can only imagine how Vince McMahon laid his segment out. All right, Pat, Austin. Wait, me Austin or he Austin? You Austin, the one that drew me money. Austin, I don't care how many selfies you take. Me Austin or he Austin? He Austin, the one with the hair. God damn it, Steve, pay attention. Well, goddamn Jesus H. Christ, son, all you had to do was say Steve. All right, here's what we're going to do. One trick is to tell them stories in the ring that don't go anywhere. So I tie an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time. Vince, I'll just come out and stun you. Goddamn Jesus H. Christ, son. And I'll take the worst stunner ever. A stunner that was so goddamn bad that Linda McMahon was able to see straight for the first time in 30 years somehow. I'm John Renton with my review of the second half of the most stupendous two-night WrestleMania in history, aka WWE WrestleMania 38 Night 2, Electric Broodaloo. Oh, night one was better. God, it was better. There were moments on this show that I really liked. There were moments that I didn't like. There was one particular match I didn't like. Some people are not going to like what I say about this particular match. I do want to thank everybody, though, for tuning in to the night one review. Thank you guys very much. Thank you guys for tuning in to the later edition of the NXT Stand and Deliver review. Really appreciate it, guys. You guys have gotten me through a whole bunch of tough times lately. It's been a great weekend of wrestling. Even through the bad stuff, it's been a great weekend of wrestling. And we have the Raw after Mania. Rawmania, if you will. The invasion of Romania. Wait, no. Let's not do that. So, I don't really know why they need to make both pre-shows 2 hours. The most stupendously, overly long 2-hour pre-shows in Mania history. So, I did not hear something that Kayla said about being a top. Maybe that was just me wanting Kayla to be on top. Moving on from that. Kayla, Booker, Steve Patrick, Rosenberg, and Lawler. Patrick did knock Jerry Lawler's joke, saying, did somebody see a tumbleweed roll through here when Lawler said that joke? Because Lawler should have been shut down years ago. Also, again, I ask, is Lawler legally allowed to be within, several yards of that many children? Or really within 5,000 feet of that, any amount of children like that? So we get a package on Roman and Bork. Taker weighs in, and he's going with Roman. Roman, if you want to, Roman around the world. Boy, there were issues on this whole goddamn show. Injuries aplenty. This was injury mania. And it seemed like many of them were able to get over that, but some of this show was fucking snake bit. So, Vicky once again surveyed the crowd, and Vicky Guerrero demanded that a wall be built around Dallas. No, I will not stop joking about Vicky Guerrero, because she deserves every bit of fucking ridicule for merely existing on this planet. So anyway, Heyman was just blowing off Megan. Not blowing her back out. Okay, this is getting a little bit weird because all the women that tune into my show, all 5 of you have tuned out by now. But man, just blowing her off or whatever, and they did the Alfred Hitchcock thing. Brock Lesnar, my tribal chief, I don't know why he sounds like Napa. Anyway, I can't do a Heyman voice. But yeah, blowing off Megan, I'd like to blow it. Anyway, never mind about that. So, Booker, he compared somebody to Martin Luther King. Hey, remember what Ultimate Warrior said about Martin Luther King and his marching? By the way, fuck the Ultimate Warrior, I'm glad he's dead. So, Maria Menounos, she was interviewing the tag team champions. Zelina, that accent is brutal. Carmella has no business being anywhere near a wrestling ring. And I thought this one fan looked like Leo Rush. In fact, it's really hard to tell the difference between Leo Rush and fans because he's about as tall as some of them. Okay, anyway, Theory cannot cut a promo to save his life. The panel discusses, Zeke of the Dallas Cowboys and all the championships that he's brought to the Oh, right. Sorry to any of the Cowboy fans that happen to be watching, by the way, because plenty of you are cool. It's just funny that Jerry Jones spends millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they haven't had a championship since 95, 96? Somewhere around that? Try and remind me. Was it 97? I used to watch the NFL a lot. I know they won some in the 90s. But anyway. Now we start. We get Mark Wahlberg once again doing the intro. I guess Donnie was busy on the set of Blue Bloods. Bridget Moynihan. I would, and you would too. So, who the fuck is Jesse James Decker? Looks like somebody already did with her last name. Can we please get Aretha Franklin back from the dead to do this? Because even as a corpse, she could sing. But I don't know who Jesse James Decker is. Sounds like a weird, kind of lacquer you put on your deck to prevent weather stripping or wither stripping from withering your weather stripping. I don't know what exactly is going on with her, and I don't care. I'm sure she's a lovely individual. Never have this bullshit on my wrestling program again. All right, so we get a whole lot of pyro and everything. Time to play the game. It's time to play the game. Hey, Vegeta, look, a Pokemon. That's not a Pokemon. That's a Triple H. You hear that, Vegeta? It's a Triple H. I'm gonna try to catch it. Oh, that didn't work. It's because you gotta damage it first. Right, I'm going to go for a critical. Nobody has any idea what I'm talking about. Nobody has any idea, except possibly my best friend if he happens to be watching this. And if so, hi Derv, hope you're doing well. Triple H comes out to a pop and gets a pretty sizable reaction. Has a bottle of water and everything, does the spit, that was pretty cool. And hey, remember how Triple H, this is going to be the last, this is the last Mania appearance that he'll really have. I mean, even though he retired as an active competitor completely. Remember Mania 12 when he had to sacrifice himself to the Ultimate Warrior? Ultimate Warrior, Mr. Quarian, who doesn't make the world work. Once again, fuck the Ultimate Warrior. I'm glad he's dead. I'm going to keep saying that because I'm going to keep needling every single Ultimate Warrior fan that is here because, look, we need to remember our heroes as they were. And I loved Warrior when I was 9 years old and 10 years old. And then it became obvious that I was cheering a guy that wasn't very good as a person. But not that Triple H had the best goddamn career, as far as like backstage politics. But that being said, I'm happy for Triple H. He had a hell of a career. He was the guy that worked with the top guy. And thank you, Hunter. They said Hunter, by the way. And he says, thank you. Welcome to WrestleMania. We get a shot of Gable skating on, several assault charges thanks to bullshit laws in Minnesota, Stevenson. No, I'm not going to forget that. And you can read up on it. And if anybody says, oh, he didn't actually do anything, read the fine details. I know reading's hard for people that want to defend people like Gable, but perhaps people should learn how to read. If you don't have reading comprehension, how about you just get the fuck out of here? So, we get RK Bros, Riddle, and Orton versus the Meryl Streep Profits versus Alpha Academy. Gable, the true Gable, and the Thumb Soldier. Buffa Thumb Soldier, hi, it's Majin Buu. It's a three-way Raw Tag Title match, and it wasn't dull, I'll say that much. Gable looking to insert himself into the action. You know who you are that's watching this, you stop thinking about it. This could have easily been on Raw. That's my issue with Night 1 and Night 2. Not everybody needs to be on the Mania card. I'm not saying that people don't deserve a Mania payday, especially since they got these huge gates and everything, and they're trying to do the most stupendous two-night WrestleMania, and they're going with 2 nights. They're going to do 2 nights for Mania 39. Soon it's going to be what week is WrestleMania. People are going to have to take time off from work. And the remaining wrestling fans, everybody that's working, their bosses are going to wonder what the fuck's going on. Why are they pretending to be sick for so long? But anyway, Montez lands on his feet after a huge dive over the top. Bro to sleep by Corey. Corey, I wish you would go to sleep and not wake up and do commentary again. Go to sleep and wake up a different person. Go to sleep and wake up and actually be a decent husband. You had your chance to do that, and then you left your wife with 3 kids. So, Orton makes Gable take it all over his back. We get a sky-high blockbuster by Montez Ford, who's a freakish athlete. Get an RKO on Gable for 3. The champs retain. RK Bro and the Profits bring Gable Stevenson in for a drink. Let's have a drink. Oh yeah, Gable Stevenson around alcohol. Yeah, that'll work. Boy, tone deaf much? The real Gable comes in and slaps a drink out of his hand, and Stevenson was upset because he was going to give that to a girl at a party. Allegedly. Fuck Gable Stevenson. Fuck him for being born. So, then he tosses him around and everything and does all that, and man, poor Chad Gable. Poor Chad Gable. So, we get day 1 clips. No, not that one. I mean, the first half of the most stupendous 2-night WrestleMania in history. Lashley gets some pyro. Lashley versus Edward James Omos. Oh boy, and you thought Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez was bad. This wasn't as bad. But sweet Jesus. Sweet Jesus. We did get a suplex and a spear from behind and a spear 1, 2, 3. Look, Edward James Omos was trying. I'm sure he's a nice person. This was bad. This was bad. This is also Hulk Hogan's least favorite match on the card. But, whatever. What goddamn ever. Lashley got a victory. Good for him. So, if you like the Anything Goes match, I'm going to say right now that that's great. Fantastic. If you don't want to hear a critiquing of it, if you don't want to see me go fucking nuclear, if you don't want to see a ton of anger, then you can mute it, and I'll wave like this when I'm done. Sami Zayn deserves $5 million for all the stuff that he had to do with Johnny Knoxville. I don't care if Johnny Knoxville's a nice guy. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's Mr. Nice Guy, no more Mr. Whatever. I'm sure that he has done a lot of good shit. I didn't mind him in We Summon the Darkness. I didn't mind him in, I believe it was Walking Tall. I think he was in a remake of Walking Tall. I didn't mind him in some movies. I hate the Jackass movies. So if you like the Jackass stuff and you thought this is funny, that's fine. Now, this is the most catastrophic, embarrassing fucking bullshit that WWE has done on a grand stage in years. This was embarrassing. This was a travesty to everything that wrestling stands for. And you can say, oh, it's entertaining. You got to find entertaining. Fine. You do. You do you. You find it as funny as you want. I was honest to God hoping that the entire arena went black. I was hoping that the entire production got shut down, because that would have been better than watching whatever the fuck Sami Zayn tried to get out of Johnny Knoxville, who's practically a fucking cripple who can barely do anything. And the Jackass stuff, by the way, was played the fuck out well before WWE ever went, or not even mainstream, but, just shortly after they went public is about the time the Jackass stopped being any goddamn good. Jackass was never good in the first place. I watched the first few movies. I hated every single one of them, but I figured, okay, I got friends who want to watch them, I'll do it. And I pretty much have cut ties with those friends since for a lot of reasons. I hate the Jackass stuff. I knew this was going to be bad. But okay, 5 to 7 minutes, whatever. 15 pissing minutes of some of the worst comedy that I've seen. Whoever put this together deserves to be slapped down in front of their family while their family watches them bleed. If that's Bruce Pritchard, I hope that's the case. Whoever decided to greenlight this, particularly Vince, I hope that he was discombobulated after the stunner and can never walk straight again. Fuck everybody who decided to put this together. Fuck everybody involved in this. I hope that Sami Zayn continues to do great charity work, but I have written off covering anything that Sami Zayn will do in wrestling. I hated everything about this. This was absolutely the biggest atrocity that WWE has committed, and I've killed AEW for all the cinematic and all the other comedy bullshit they've done, and rightfully so. I've killed New Japan for all the stuff they've done with the KOPW stuff and the House of Torture and the Bullet Club stuff. WWE should be above this. This wasn't any good. Oh, and sure, the crowd was loving it. That's fine. And anybody that was there in the live crowd, if you loved it, great. And there were plenty of people I talked to on Twitter that were there. There are people that I talked to I know that didn't like this. Maybe I'm on a goddamn island. I don't care. I actually was tempted to just shut it off and say, nope, that's it. I'm done. I'm not reviewing this show. Fuck it. Seriously, fuck everybody for being involved in this. This was a catastrophe. I hated this. Johnny Knoxville deserved to be shot out of a cannon into the sun for shitting on the professional wrestling business. And I'm sure that he respects it. I'm sure he does. Sami Zayn, by the way, lost a lot of brownie points with some fans, but whatever. I'm just one fan. And he does tremendous charity work. But God, they brought out all these stupid props, all this Jackass stuff that wasn't funny to begin with. It wasn't funny 20 years ago. It's not now watching a bunch of elderly, should be in, goddamn wheelchair fucks, trying to be funny like they thought they were a number of years ago. We get stop signs and bowling balls. And we get a mousetrap table and everything. It reminds me of the mousetrap board game, except you could stop playing that board game. I think somebody should have put these guys on the board game and then folded it up and done, so in front of their kids. So their kids could have seen exactly how embarrassing they were to, to be part of this fucking show. And then some jackass crews got involved, some stupid little short shit. The Sami Zayn kicked flush in the face. Oh, that's such a shame. That's what you get, you little Munchkin Lamb wannabe. Get the fuck out of here. And apparently he was somebody that had something to do with Jackass. I don't care. Some guy showed his goddamn ass. This is the worst match of the... If anything beats this match, I will be amazed. If anything beats this match. I wrote down, I'm embarrassed to be a wrestling fan several times on my notes. I know wrestling can be silly. I know wrestling's meant to be silly. This was a catastrophe of epic proportions. They get a giant mousetrap that comes out for no goddamn reason. No goddamn reason we get a giant mousetrap that comes out and Zayn gets pinned. The mousetrap, by the way, botched because they decided to set this up and it didn't work. And the mousetrap botched and Sami Zayn got pinned by a mousetrap. So I really hope that signing that new contract is worth it. I hope he got a lot of money because he's going to need a whole lot of that money to put towards his various charities because he's fucking done as any kind of credible wrestler. This is stupid. This is embarrassing. And whoever came up with this deserves to be punched or hit with sacks of, like socks of soap, like in Full Metal Jacket. Do that. That's exactly what should happen. And I know, oh, it's entertainment. No, it's not. Not to me. Maybe to you. But this was something that could have been maybe 7 minutes. Fine. Whatever. The fact that this ended up causing other matches to be cut, and there were other issues too. There was one match that went way too goddamn long. They didn't pace this well at all. And that's it. That's it. This is the most embarrassing thing WWE has done basically since they got crowds back. But even some of the stuff they did in the pandemic, you could excuse because they didn't have crowds. They had a full crowd there. Oh, the crowd was loving it. Great. Okay, maybe they'll love the Jim Jones Kool-Aid. Maybe they'll love that. In fact, give everybody that decided to greenlight this a Jim Jones Kool-Aid. People play games, my friends. I was ready to just say, fuck it. And this is big. This is a big reason why this was the worst of the two nights. Embarrassing and catastrophe. I will not be covering it besides saying, oh, Sami Zayn was in this. That's it. That's it. I can't look at Sami Zayn and not just think this man got pinned via a mousetrap. So the women come out to try and save this. Good fucking luck with that. Sasha's driving. Hold on, woman driver coming through. Well, there we go. That'll get me a lot of brownie points. So Sasha and Naomi show up, and then Liv and Rhea, all in leather, and Rhea, please berate me. Please just step on me and berate me. Kiera, stop thinking about Liv in leather. I know you're thinking about it. Stop it. Get some help. They were cosplaying as bunny cat women, I guess. Whatever. They look great. I don't really care what they were doing. Natty and Shayna also got an entrance. Zelina's scepter is almost as tall as her, while Carmella... You know what? Nope, not going to say that about Carmella. The burnt piece of beef jerky. And Corey Graves was insufferable during this. Get Corey Graves off of commentary. Kick him out of the company. He doesn't offer anything good to commentary. When he decided to say about the Marching Man, oh, what the hell is this? There's a difference between being a heel, like Bobby Heenan, or Jesse Ventura when Jesse Ventura cared, or other heel commentators. At least Shane McMahon had energy. Corey just likes to pick fights with people that, he knows won't try to fight back against him and thinks that he's such a big man, but then worries about cancel culture, but then also gets upset because certain friends won't talk to him. Hey, Corey, you think maybe it's because you're a fucking dick that decided to, I don't know, show your whole goddamn ass? Go be with your little burnt piece of beef jerky, somebody that you're probably going to trade up on in a few years, like you just did with your other wife, the mother of your children, and maybe you can end up eventually finding happiness. Hopefully, maybe, when your CTE riddled brain finally decides to just say, I've had enough, and maybe you just stop doing commentary. You just can't do it anymore. Don't do this anymore. Sasha and Naomi versus Rhea and Liv versus Natty and Shayna versus the Munchkin Land Quartet. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Actually, they are the quartet, because if you think about it, you have to take 4 people from Munchkin Land to make them roughly the same height as Zelina and Carmella, except the Munchkin Land people had talent and had ability to entertain. Zelina does not. The Queen stuff is stupid. Carmella has no business being in a wrestling ring. These women really did try. Well, 6 of them did. They also made it to where they were rushing like crazy. It was not very good when they tried to rush. And 6 of these women are very, very talented. We get a frog splash for 2. And then we get a bunch of breakups. And hey, Sasha pins Carmella. You know, the least talented twat in the goddamn ring. And 1, 2, 3. And there you go. Sasha gets her first win at Mania. In a match that not that many goddamn people are going to remember because it's for the Tag Team Championship. Oh, here. This is for, once again, fuck the Johnny Knoxville Sami Zayn match. Fuck it. It's embarrassing. Recaps of Ray being pinned. Styles' entrance. He was bleeding because apparently he hit his face doing his entrance. Ouch. Edge got a fiery throne for some reason. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this Edge versus Styles match because they spent way too much time on. Look, there's nothing wrong with doing a long, psychologically, well thought out match with good, psychology, rest holds, and, focusing on body parts and stuff like that. The problem is, this match should have been about 6 minutes shorter than it was, 6 to 8 minutes shorter, as good as it was. There was, some good rib focus after a 450 where Edge got his knee up, but he hurt his knee. Edge is selling his knee, Styles is selling his ribs. Some good rest spots. That's a lot of damage because everybody's just, telling stuff through great impact. We get a crossface, from a Canadian wrestler / family man who won the Royal Rumble from the #1 position. Who else did that? By God, Benoit ripping and tearing. Hide your kids, hide your wives. So, we get a suplex on the apron. Why? Please stop with the apron spots. 450 to the back for 2. Styles Clash for 2. The crowd boos heavily. Hey, here's Damian Priest. And in a midair spear, 1, 2, 3. They're partners now. House of Edgy Black coming soon. It's the Brood 2, Electric Broodaloo. So anyway, that match actually was pretty good. But by this point, not only was it going long, but it was getting ridiculous. And this Mania actually ended up getting cut by a couple minutes, but more on that later. The attendance tonight is 77,453. The graphics showed 78,453. Good job, graphics team. Good job feeding that to the announcer. Bullshit figure. I call shenanigans. 60,000, I say. New Day versus the UK Newsies. Wow, that happened quick, and Ridge pinned Xavier in exactly 100 seconds. Well, they blindsided him and then had a 100-second match. You should have just had that match on SmackDown and given it about 15 minutes. Why do they insist on pushing Ridge Holland? So, man, they said at one point there were bodies flying everywhere in Dallas, but enough about the World Class Championship Wrestling roster in the 80s. So, recaps of Cody and Rollins. Okay, whatever. Butch, by the way. Butch. Terrible. Pete Dunne is freaking just done on the main roster. This character is stupid. So, Taker comes out at one point just to do another round of throbbing adulation. Nearly did the white power fist and was also looking for JFK in the crowd. Shout out to ELL Generico on Twitter for that. I was dying laughing for 10 minutes. Thank you very much. And if you get it, you get it, because Taker is one of those Q fuckers. And if you're a Q fucker, get the fuck out of my, mentions and get the fuck off my channel. You don't deserve rights. So anyway, Vince looks near death, literally. He looks near death. He does not look well. I know he's almost 80, but he has aged 20 years and 5. Theory entrance, and to really not much of a reaction, because nobody really cares for Austin Theory. The 7-Nation Army couldn't hold me back. Can the Cowboy cheerleaders count that high? Enough mean-spirited stuff about the Cowboys cheerleaders. I'm sure they're lovely women. So, considering I saw them, most of them are. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. Great. Good shit. Theory can work. He's just bland as white bread. Pat McAfee was over. They were doing the 7-Nation Army. Oh, Pat McAfee. They were doing that kind of stuff. The commentary during the match, Michael Cole was trying to develop personality. He claims to have one, believe it or not. And we get a swanton missing. We get Theory taking over for a bit while Vince is watching at ringside. And suddenly, the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling, the most stupendous roll-up in WWE history. 1, 2, 3. Pat McAfee gets the victory. Oh my goodness, what the hell's going on? And then, we get Vince McMahon taking his jacket off. He's he's in great, remarkable shape for 76, whatever he is. And he looked lost. He gets in the ring. We're getting Vince versus Pat McAfee with all the shenanigans. Vince does a few things because Theory had attacked Pat Pat before the bell. And even though Pat tried to bow up at him, eventually we get a distraction, ball shot into the post, and we get a football punt right to Theory. Not to Theory, but to Pat. 1, 2, 3. Pat McAfee takes his first win and his first loss within about, 5 minutes. That was ridiculous. That was Vince's first win at Mania. His first win at Mania. Am I wrong? I'm actually trying to remember. I don't remember him winning at Mania. Yeah, that's his first goddamn win, and he barely looked like he could stand up. Glass breaks. Oh my God, Cole loses it like we didn't see Austin 24 hours ago. Can you please stun Michael Cole's ass? Then he wouldn't be so fucking bad his jaw, because his jaw would be busted, and then we could get a better commentator. Anybody on the roster would be better than Michael Cole besides Corey Grace. Fuck that. Stupid. Yeah, okay, I ran out of lyrics right there. So anyway, Austin stuns Austin. Also on Austin action. And then a beer celebration with Vince, and he stuns Vince. And Vince was all discombobulated. Somebody joked that his check engine light came on. Somebody joked that Vince decided factory reset himself and everything. He was all toast, and yeah, he weebled and he wobbled and he eventually fell down. That was the worst stunner cell. I know he's 76. Don't take the goddamn thing if you can't do it. And then he toasts with Pat and gives him a stunner, and Pat was having a goddamn blast. Okay. I get it. I get that, this was a big celebration for Austin. They shouldn't have done the thing with Vince beating Pat. And it wasn't necessary. I think they could have just had him beat up Pat a bit. Glass breaks. They come down, everything. I didn't see the point of giving Vince a win. That was straight up stupid ego. That was ego at that point. I mean, I don't think Pat minded. Pat's not going to wrestle all that often. He might wrestle again at SummerSlam. But what the fuck? I mean, yes, he got to celebrate with Austin afterwards. It's just, to me, I was like, why? The show was already kind of dragging. Mainly because of the stupid goddamn anything goes match. And then we get 10 minutes of entrances. For Bork, the WWE Champion, versus Roman, the Universal Champion. Winner takes all championship unification match. Let's hear it for the unification. Okay. Lots of throws, lots of German suplexes. The Germans are invading again. Oh God, oh no, watch out Poland. And Superman punches, and then an F5 for 2, a ref bump, a low blow, a belt shot. We get a spear caught into the Kimura, and Roman gets his shoulder popped out, seemingly. He did seem to get hurt. And it's out, and then he pops it back in and hits a spear. 1, 2, 3. Out of nowhere. I don't mind Roman winning. But now the question is, who's next for Roman? Watch them have Braun, Steiner beat him pretty soon. And what's next for Bork? Do they have him go home and come back at SummerSlam? What do they have him do? There's a lot of questions coming out of this Mania. My question is, who thought that Anything Goes match was a good idea? I'm going to keep harping on that goddamn thing until somebody explains it. Yeah, this was not as good as night one. And despite the fact that it was about 15 minutes shorter, this felt like it dragged more than it needed to. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.